So it's big news this week. The C8 ZR1X has officially been revealed by GM as the newest flagship for Corvette with 1,250 horsepower, all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. Holy hell. Also, the C8 ZR1 isn't done there. The Chevy team has taken the ZR1 to the famous Nurburgring Racetrack for some testing, and it looks like they're going to attempt official lap time records this time around. Also, there's only 2 weeks left to enter the next giveaway of the channel with over $2,000 worth of prizes to win, multiple pieces to win that I'll tell you how you can enter if you haven't already. All of that we're going to talk about in today's video. So thanks for tuning in, guys, where we talk Corvette news, do product review videos, how to install videos, and the occasional car driving car show all around Corvettes. My name is Carlos, and if you like what you hear and you want to know when all these kind of videos drop, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, join in on the community, and join in on the fun. Okay, let's get into this week's news I came across. There's a lot to talk about this week, and it's all C8 ZR1 news. And the first piece is that GM has officially revealed their true top tier flagship of the Corvette, and it is the ZR1X. Originally, a lot of us thought it would be named the ZORA. That was the unofficial name for years now, but GM decided to go with this name. Honestly, they should have stuck with the ZORA, and I'm sure most of you would agree that would have been a better name, but that's pretty much the only thing I can criticize about this newest flagship C8. The ZR1X has been confirmed, and it's the ZR1 on steroids, with the LT7 motor producing 1,064 horsepower and is now accompanied with the Eray's hybrid motor, working the front to provide all-wheel drive and a combined, get this, 1,250 horsepower. Now, I'd like to quickly note how this is a nice, neat number for the first time on the C8 platform. They've always stated odd numbers for the C8, like with the Stingray being like 495 horsepower, the Z06 being 670 horsepower, and then the ZR1 non-X being 1,064. They do that because it's always been a character of the Chevy engineering team, who are always trying to shoot for the maximum amount of horsepower possible. But this time around, it's a nice even 1,250 horsepower, which makes me think they are actually maybe understating how much the actual horsepower is going to be on a car-by-car basis. It's actually kind of interesting because if you run the numbers with the LT7 motor producing 1,064 horsepower and them adding the electric motor from the Eray, that electric motor actually isn't the same motor setup. It's actually a more powerful electric motor, where the Eray's electric motor has an output of 160 horsepower. This new setup actually makes 186 horsepower, and if I recall, they enlarged the battery capacity in order to be able to do that. So they squeezed even more power, and that's how they got the nice, neat 1,250 horsepower instead of actually, 1,224 horsepower if it was just a complete, Eray swap over to set up the ZR1X. In any case, this combo for the ZR1X is showcasing a crazy amount of power that translates to an astonishing 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds and a quarter-mile time under 9 seconds. Those are ludicrous speeds. And no, really, this would beat things like the Tesla Model S Plaid that is rated to hit 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds in its ludicrous speed mode. So it's taking the cake and honestly not only putting the ZR1 in hypercar territory, but even more than that. I mean, the regular ZR1 was already in hypercar territory, shattering lap records at famous racetracks that were held originally by hypercars like the McLaren Senna. But the ZR1X is now easily putting its mark as one of the best hypercars you can get on the market, period. And hell, even though the price isn't out yet for this version, you already know it's going to be the best bang for your buck hypercar out there compared to the others that go for millions of dollars, compared to the ZR1X, like the Ferrari F80 that goes for multiple millions of dollars. I think it's like $2.4 million for the Ferrari F80. So it's going to be like a quarter of the price, if that. And it does lend to the question of how much this newest version is going to cost, which I'm curious to think what you guys will think the price will be. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to see. This new ZR1X is going to have the LZ1 basic option, and then there's going to be an LZ3 top tier trim option. And I'm thinking that just base option is going to start around $230,000 or so as a starting price. But again, I'm curious as what you guys think also. In any case though, Looking at what Chevy has shown us in these most recent videos, we see the ZR1X on the racetrack with both the ZTK style option and without. We also see the new Roswell metallic green in this ZR1X, and we get a glimpse of the new ZR1 with the updated 2026 interior that features the extra info screens as well as a larger nav and center screen and the updated center console with the new grab handle and layout. By the way, I'm going to make a quick little tangent because this green color has me going through such a loop on what this actual color is going to look like in person. I mean, take a look at this. Here's a picture of it, of the official GM color when they announced it a few weeks ago. And then here's a picture someone took of the sample model when it was announced at the NCM Bash around the same time. And then here's a random picture of it outside on a cloudy day. And then here's some recent pictures now of it inside. All different lighting conditions, but they give me no freaking clue on what kind of green tone this is. And I get that the lighting will play a big role in how this green will look, but it seems so drastically different that I can't tell anymore. Can you guys? No, seriously, have any of you guys been lucky enough to see this Roswell metallic green Corvette in person? If so, please comment and tell me what you think about it, because I haven't seen one in person yet and it's just driving me nuts on trying to figure out what tone green this is. Anyways, so with GM revealing this ZR1X, they also noted some additional upgrades, one of which was most notably the brakes. They are even bigger. They're carbon ceramic brake systems with 420mm disc and 10 piston brake calipers for the front and 6 piston brake calipers for the back. I mean, these things are freaking massive. This is the kind of brake system that you need though if you're going to be tracking or racing this kind of car, which, you know, this car is. People sometimes think, oh, well, the bigger brakes, you're going to get like a shorter stopping distance, which can be true, but you are limited after a point by not only the brakes, but just the tires themselves. I will say, though, that GM has gone on the record saying that these brakes will allow the ZR1X to decelerate at 1.9 G's worth of stopping power, which is that's insane. That amount, that's almost 2 times your own weight. That's literally peeling off your face if you were to just mash on the brake, like when you were going. But either way, what these bigger brakes give you is the ability to brake hard way more often, like you would see on a racetrack, without having things like brake fade occurring. That's where the strength of the bigger brakes come in, actually to be able to keep producing strong brake forces lap after lap after lap in a track or race type setting, and that's what the ZR1X has. Now, shifting to the tech that's going on with this ZR1X, Chevy really made a big deal about how this added horsepower and all-wheel drive system is going to work. Specifically, the performance traction management system, which you see captured on that new third screen that we'll be seeing in the 2026 interior models. This is a big deal because with this system, the ZR1X is actually going to have special racetrack setups specifically for this flagship Corvette to take advantage of that front motor system. Basically, there's 3 different what they're calling energy strategies. They have an endurance mode, which optimizes the battery and electric motor for extended lapping and consistent all-wheel drive performance. And then there's qualifying, which is energy optimized to give you max 1 lap pace, like you were doing, like if you were trying to make the fastest lap possible. And then what I'm thinking is going to be my favorite setup is the push to pass, which is max power unleashed when you are trying to make a pass using all possible grunt to make that pass, and is designed for overtaking competition type races. If I recall, I can't exactly remember where I saw it in another video, but how they're going to set up that push to pass is similar to like how Formula 1 style, where you'll use the left control knob in order to activate like a toggle to push to activate the push to pass and give you that instant surge of acceleration, which is pretty cool, honestly. Either way, this ZR1X is going to be absolutely insane. I would love to get one myself, but at this point, it's going to be stupid hard to just get one. And it's just going to be a bit out of my price range, at least for the time being. Hopefully, as the channel grows through the support of you guys watching, which I always appreciate, maybe one day I'll be able to, you know, have the opportunity to experience this absolutely amazing machine. But in the meantime, I'm gonna be enjoying my Z06, which I love just as much. Okay, so continuing the news this week, it's still ZR1 news, but now we're looking at the track. Now, the ZR1 has broken lap records at multiple famous American racetracks, including the likes at VIR and Road America. But this time it's even bigger because we're looking at the Nurburgring Racetrack, and GM has sent out a fleet of C8s, including 2 Z06s, 2 ZR1s, and what appear to be 2 ZR1Xs, or ZORA if you're more familiar with that name as well. Now, they're going to do more testing at first, but most importantly, they are going to conduct actual official lap times in the ZR1 and present their results to us Corvette fans. Now, GM hasn't revealed yet what those times are going to look like, but the official lap attempts are booked for around the end of this month. So we should see those times coming about soon, and from everything I've seen, there's an extremely high possibility the ZR1 will take the lap record for the fastest American production car, taking it away from the Mustang GTD that has a posted time of 6 minutes and 57 seconds. That ranks number 7 on the all-time fastest production cars ever. It's the number 1 for the American production car for now, but number 7 on that list. And you see other stupid fast cars coming from the likes of like Porsche, Lamborghini, and Mercedes-Benz. That Mercedes-Benz AMG one that has the number 1 spot is at 6 minutes and 29 seconds for a lap time for the lap record, which is insane to me. That's so freaking quick. And I have full confidence the C8 ZR1 is going to be in that top 10 easily. But where it sits is going to be the bigger question, and I'm curious what you guys think the ZR1 lap time will be. Definitely let me know in the comments. That would be cool to see who gets the closest to that time. In fact, the more that I think about it, I'll make a shout out to whoever gets the closest to the official lap times when GM reveals that, and I'll mention it in that week's news video. My guess it's going to be around the mid 6 minute 48 seconds time. I really think it's going to be in that top 4 or top 5 of the track. And it's most important to note that from all the underground chatter that I've heard, the difference in track time between the regular ZR1 and the ZR1X on the Nurburgring has actually been minimal. There hasn't been really much of a difference, which actually to me that kind of makes sense. That extra electric motor in the front of the ZR1X, while it brings the extra horsepower, it also adds a significant amount of weight between the motor and the extra batteries. That system, if I remember right, it adds like an extra 250 pounds and brings the car, I believe, to over 4,000 pounds for a car, which is pretty heavy for a fast-moving hypercar. And it makes sense if you're getting into that realm of trade-off between the extra power and then the added weight. That extra, that electric power, while it's significant, it's optimized for tracking in the lower to mid range of speed, and not the Nürburgring with its much higher speed corners and much higher speed straightaways. Electric motors are generally speed limited after a certain point at much higher speeds, like over 120 miles an hour. They're not really providing any additional propelling power, any extra grunt at those high speeds. So when you're at over 200 miles an hour, which, you know, this ZR1 is definitely going to get over 200 miles an hour. I mean, we've seen it in just the regular ZR1, but at over 200 miles an hour, that LT7 motor is pretty much doing all the grunt work. But in any case, I do think that's going to be one heck of a reveal when GM decides to tell us the official lap time and cements the ZR1 not even in supercar but hypercar history. Okay, so the last bit of news is channel news, and it's the next set of giveaways for the channel, which is live. We're in the near tail end of it, actually, with 2 weeks left and over $2,500 worth of prizes that we're going to be giving away this time. All from sponsors of the channel, including Solar Performance and an 87mm throttle body kit for the C8 Z06, that's worth $700. A Diamond Protect protective coating kit, which is next gen beyond ceramic coating tech to protect your ride. Any surface kit of your choice, which goes for about $80 to $100. Speedway Composites and a carbon fiber X brace for your C8 Corvette, which goes for about $600, and then a special wind deflector also from Speedway Composites that goes for another $400 also. On top of that, we have an anti-glare protective film from Screen Protect that you can put on your C8 Corvette. It goes on the nav screen and center screen that goes for $60 as well. And then the last giveaway piece we added from last week comes from our longtime sponsor, Extreme Online Store, and it's their carbon fiber side skirts that you can get for the C8 Z06 or Eray as full replacements of the carbon flash versions you would usually see. We actually did a recent review about them and we installed a pair on my Z06 and they are awesome. I absolutely love them. They retail for $500 from EOS and they're part of the giveaway now. So these are all the different items you can win in this giveaway, which goes all the way to July 4th. And to enter, it's super easy. The first way is just typing in the comments NuHorizon. That gets you one free entry into the giveaway. It's one per username, one per person for that initial entry. Again, if you've already submitted for the free entry in earlier videos, you're already locked in. You don't have to comment again. I mean, unless you want to. I know a few of you like to joke around and just comment it again, but it won't count for any extra entries. But if you're wanting more entries and more chances to win, because there are a lot of different prizes to win, I am making it that every $5 spent through either a special thanks donation or purchase of NuHorizon merch like my shirt or my hat, every $5 spent gets you an extra entry into the giveaway. We already have a couple of you who have done exactly that, and you can see that in the updated spinner wheel, which shows who's currently in the running. So it could be that spending maybe $10 or $15 can win you a nice piece that's worth $700 like the throttle body. So it all helps not only support the channel growing, but also future giveaways like this one as well. So good luck to everyone who's entered. If you're not subscribed already, definitely invite you to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we will see you next time. Take care, guys.